All right, well, hey guys, I know long time no talk. It is now March 14th. That took me a while to figure out. I'm just at my parents' house this weekend, and I know I owe you a low buy check-in, so I thought I would just take you guys around with me. I think it's gonna be kind of a quickie one. There's a lot of unrest and uncertainty right now in this time, I think with just what's going on in the world with coronavirus and all that. I work in healthcare, so I am definitely keeping track of the play-by-play. To be honest, I haven't been like really that focused on the low buy, I guess, but we can talk about February. I'm just at my parents' house this weekend, saying hi to family just because I don't know what's gonna be happening for the next little while. None of us have traveled, nothing like that, so we're all okay. Currently, things are starting to get shut down in Toronto, like the school system. Grocery stores are still open, although things are like really flying off the shelves. It's pretty crazy. I went to go just like stock up just in case, because typically, I should have shown you that grocery haul in one of my previous vlogs, but really when I shop or when Jeff and I shop, we usually don't buy non-perishables, things like beans, pasta, rice. We don't really keep a lot of that, and I definitely did panic shop a little bit this week, and to accommodate for that, I have raised my grocery budget. Usually my grocery budget for our household is anywhere between, let's say, $450 to $500 a month, and I've actually raised it to $700 this month because I don't know what we're gonna need to stockpile just in case. And by stockpile, I am not one of those people that's running out and buying an entire year's worth of toilet paper. So I bought two like 8 size rolls for ourselves just in case, left a whole bunch on the shelf, left a whole bunch of beans and pasta on the shelf, but we did stock up on things like frozen vegetables, frozen berries, nut milk, things like that, things that don't go bad very fast. We did stock up a little bit on, but enough for 2 people and enough for if, for example, there is a 2-week quarantine that's happening in a lot of other countries right now, so just being prepared, and I am accommodating that in my budget. The other thing that I think I'm gonna do just in case, because I don't know, I'm a pharmacist, we're an essential service, so I think throughout all of this, for me, I'm gonna be probably going to work and just taking those extra precautions, but just in case, I don't know what's gonna happen. Toronto had SARS, but I was like in high school when that went down. I'm not really sure how that went in terms of staffing, if it was just skeleton staff or if all full-time staff were expected to work. I'm not really sure. So I've decided to cut back on my debt repayment this month. I think I'm gonna go still a little bit more in my minimum payment, but all I have right now, because I'm being aggressive in my debt repayment, is my $1,000 emergency fund per the Dave Ramsey plan. I was fully comfortable with that, having that $1,000, but now, just in case, I am gonna contribute a little bit more to the emergency fund to make sure things like rent, hydro, all of our monthly expenses are covered for another month or so, just in case. So I'm slowing down my debt repayment right now, and I'm increasing other areas of my budget this month. That's what I'm gonna be doing in March, just because of the uncertainty. You guys do you, I'm just sharing with you what I'm planning on doing, but let me know how you guys are preparing or how things are going. What's it like for you guys over there? I don't wanna spread any panic, but yeah, I just wanna make sure you guys are okay, and I'm just gonna fill you in on what's going on here. In terms of like the vibe in Toronto, to me, it seems very status quo. Like, even in the grocery stores and stuff, it was very calm when we were all kind of joking and like laughing with each other, just to not make light of the situation, but when stuff's going down like this, you kind of have to laugh. Like, you kind of have to find the positivity and find the light in the anxiety of it all. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where my mind is at this month. For me, clothes shopping and stuff like that is not a priority, although mind you, I really have caught myself almost wanting to like stress shop a little bit already this month. I haven't pulled any triggers, but I think that is key to be aware of your stress and to be aware of your anxiety. And if a lot of us are either in self-isolation or quarantine right now, there might be a lot of urge to shop just out of boredom, out of something to do. So that is still something to consider, but just keep note of those triggers and temptations still. I think with the uncertainty, it's I think it's better to look and not to buy if you are planning on at least looking. But I have noticed that temptation, yeah. And as for February, I think it was actually, I felt a little bit confused, but also I think I gained a lot of clarity in the month of February in my kind of continuous journey of getting to know my stuff pile. I did a complete closet inventory. I tried on every single piece of clothing that I own. I discovered that I have a lot of duplicates, a lot of repeats, and you guys really helped me sort of figure out and assess, I guess, my behavior like towards shopping or towards how I decide to allow something into my closet, because I had a ton of duplicates. I had a lot of the same but different in my closet that I realized. I didn't even realize this in myself, but a lot of you commented kind of suggesting like, you definitely have a style figured out, and I see a lot of duplicates in that style. Now it's kind of decluttering and figuring out what I want to keep and how many duplicates of what I want to have. I don't really have a magic number that I'm trying to reach in my closet, but I do want to get use out of what I own and what I've decided to keep. But the other thing I found in February I really struggled with was I was just getting really like confused with myself in terms of just like really just deciding, when is it okay to say yes to myself? When is it okay to allow something new to come into my space? And I was really grappling with the low buy rules that I created for myself, like waiting at least a month, budgeting for it specifically, seeing if I can find it secondhand, deciding how I really feel in it. Do I feel good? Is this piece missing from my wardrobe? Do I have something similar that I already enjoy? Even though I've set those specific rules for myself, I sometimes really find it hard to give myself the grace of just saying yes and accepting that it's okay to let this thing into my space. So I'll explain what I mean. Okay, so I bought this blazer in February and it came and I let it sit in the box for a good week before I decided to take it out and try it on, because I was just grappling with this feeling of like, a lot of like, what have I done, and guilt, and why did I do this? And a lot of, I was scared to open the box, to be honest. I was scared because I feel like I am very hard on myself, and you guys also tell me that I'm very hard on myself, and I continue to grapple with that because that stoic, must be perfect, must be sticking to the rules me is always just like, yeah, like in my ear. If I really think about it and really evaluate the situation for what it is, I really did stick to my rules when I decided to bring this into my space. I had to really talk to myself to get into that headspace of, no, this is okay, and no, I am okay with this. I'm still really struggling with that, finding that sense of balance and giving myself the grace to tell myself like, hey, Christina, it is okay, and you're doing okay, and doing this and this decision is okay. It wasn't on impulse. It wasn't coming from a place of, she looks better than I do, so I need that blazer to level up. My self-talk when I was deciding to purchase this was not from that place, but it took me a lot of time to get there. I definitely was really thinking about letting that buyer's remorse and that guilt come through, and it was a fight for me to not, and to decide that what I feel I did is reasonable and okay and within ground rules that I'm okay with. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, despite having those low buy rules and a set of ground rules that we create for ourselves, so my rules might be different from your rules, my criteria might be different from yours. This is something that is completely and 100% your journey, and I'm just sharing what's going on with mine. So your low buy is your own. And those low buy rules are meant to give us structure and pause and help us make decisions and say yes or say no with mindfulness and with intention, and I think most importantly, without judgment. But I still struggle with that judgment part. Even though I made those rules to be followed and thought about from a place that is supposed to be kind and without judgment, I still let that judgment creep in and that guilt creep in. So, and that to me is like a default, And that's something that's taking time to unlearn. With that in mind, and knowing the steps I took mentally, financially, spiritually, and emotionally to get to this place, and it's just a blazer, like, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal to me in the sense that I really had to go through a lot of self-talk and a lot of grappling to get to a place of being like, nope, I'm okay with this, I like this, and I'm happy with this. So that's what I wanted to share. I know it's kind of like a long-winded story, and in light of all that's going on with COVID and struggling with things that we've never had to struggle with before, I understand that this is just clothes. It's not really that big of a deal. That shift in self-talk among all of this is what I think is important here. Because the one thing I do still see in Low Buy, despite all the rules that we're trying, and all the structure that we're trying to create for ourselves in order to give ourselves grace, I'm still seeing a lot of guilt and a lot of conversations about guilt within the Low Buy, within making purchases, and in a space that allows you to still enjoy stuff, but enjoy it in a way that is intentional and from a place of joy rather than a place of impulse and comparison and stress. It's taking a lot of looking in to get out of that and to practice gratitude and to practice kindness to myself and to speak kindly to myself. This is all new, and this is all like a journey that I'm taking you guys on with me, because I think a lot of us might be going through something similar, so I just wanted to share this process with you. So honestly, I think this is gonna be just a really quickie Low Buy check-in. I do have a budgeting video coming up for you guys. I have, just a heads up, some sponsored videos that will be coming up, which I'm really, really excited to do. I think they're gonna be a lot of fun, but just be advised that is coming on the channel. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air, and I think that's the main focus. Focus on your health, focus on your family, focus on staying safe, and doing what you need to do to feel prepared and safe and ready. And I am thinking about all of you guys. Just be safe, take care of yourself, and we're all in this together, wherever we are in the world. Whether that be Low Buy, whether that be the news of this pandemic and the uncertainty and the economy and all of that, we're worlds apart, but we're all in this together. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.